Let's start all the way from the beginning, Maple Leaf. No, let's not do that.
The year is 2017.
Trump's presidency is in its first term, its first year.
I mean, he's still in his first term. Imagine if we were to start this LP again in 2021 and it was his second term.
Don't even joke.
It has been less than 30 seconds and we are already making political jokes. That's not something that we should be doing, I feel. Not terribly.
Not terribly. In any case, let me bring it back to the LP, or this episode. This episode is basically a miscellaneous amount of stuff that Weird Autumn, the update, changed. For some reason, I don't know, people apparently never played Super Mario 64 and never learned how to triple jump. So there's an option at the beginning of the game now to just give up and automatically triple jump through the to the top of the tree.
You know, the crowd of people that this game might appeal most to would be way too old for Super Mario 64.
Yes, I realized that the moment I said it, but come on, triple jumps, dude. It's a thing that I bet games even today do.
I mean, well, you say that, but how many AAA platformers are there nowadays? There's Mario. They re-released Crash and Spyro, but I don't think either of them... Like, I've never played either of them, so I can't really say for certain. But I don't think either of them use triple jump mechanics. That's a butt.
It is a butt. She did see a butt. That sure did happen. She saw a butt. Also, pizza. Do you like pizza, Maple Leaf?
Who doesn't? What a stupid question.
It's like pizza is just good. Nobody can not like pizza. Do you eat your crusts?
I eat my crusts, yeah. I recognize that not a lot of people... I recognize that some people don't. A lot of people do, some people don't.
I like crusts. I never really got the gist of thicker crust. I like thin crust pizza now, like quite a lot. It's easier to fold.
Nah, I can't handle thin crust pizza. Well, I can handle it, I just don't like it.
You just don't like thin crust?
I prefer fluffy crust pizza.
Like a airy, like a very crunchy?
It's not crunchy, it's very soft.
I prefer lighter
You can go
pizza.
to the grocery store. You can go to the grocery store, and there's this brand that came out maybe a year or so ago called Giuseppe. And I friggin' love Giuseppe pizza. Way better than Delissio or whatever.
Just eat all the crusts that Greg throws at you.
And Giuseppe pizza has very, very fluffy crust. This is not a paid advertisement. Just go out there, go to your local grocery store. If they have Giuseppe pizza, give it a try.
And eat your crust.
This has been a Maple Leaf not sponsored message. You know what pizza I haven't had in quite a long time but would like to? Is stuffed crust.
That's a very early 2000s, 90s thing, isn't it? Like, I don't think I've seen stuffed crust offered anywhere anymore.
I'm pretty sure Pizza Hut still offers it.
Yeah, but I don't really order out pizza that much anymore.
Neither do I. If we get pizza, it's usually from the grocery store, and it's usually Giuseppe if it's available. Well, not if it's available, it's always available. If it's on sale.
For pizza, like, I've eaten pizza once here in the past, I want to say 5 months, but when I visit my family in DC, sometimes we get like California Pizza Kitchen pizzas. Those are pretty tasty. But that's pretty much the length of pizza that I've had recently, in recent memory.
To be fair, Montreal isn't really known for its pizza.
No, Montreal is known for its smoked meat. Also, kicking ass and getting rad, that would be a pretty cool major if you ask me.
Why didn't you major in kicking ass and getting rad?
I'm a teacher, that's what I did major in.
That's a very lofty description of your job.
And it's absolutely true.
No, it's not. Don't lie.
Don't embellish the truth.
Can you imagine how quickly you'd get fired if you kicked ass on the job?
Well, depends on what kind of teaching you're doing. I mean, if you're a football coach, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to legally kick ass.
I'm pretty sure you're not legally allowed to literally kick your players in the ass.
No, that's harassment. Although if you're in the Olympics team, apparently that's a good thing.
What, kicking your players in the ass?
Didn't you? Okay, I'm making a comment about news story about that woman or that coach who was basically a serial harasser, but I guess that flew over our heads.
I haven't heard of this one.
So, we just heard from the Business Council, but the Business Council is not done yet, because they've done up Harvest all over again for the Weird Autumn edition. There's a lot more to do in this town now that Harvest is here. In the original edition, it was just like go to bees and like do the little play. But now we get to actually play 2 minigames. We can spill a Wheel of Fortune to find out our tarot card, I suppose. And I don't know if it's randomly selected or not because I only played it through once. But this reminded me a lot when I was in high school. I actually did get my fortune read by a tarot reader. It wasn't really good.
I have never in my life heard it pronounced tarot.
Tarot? How do you pronounce it?
Tarot, yeah.
Tarot? I think because I'm pronouncing it as a Portuguese person would. Also, I cannot spin a wheel to save my life. I drew this card, whatever it is.
I don't know anything about tarot cards, but I do know that the Death card is not actually the worst one.
What is the worst card in tarot?
I think the worst card is the Tower.
Why the Tower?
I don't know.
Is the Tower supposed to be like a demon tower?
I could not tell you. I do not recall off the top of my head. I think the Death card isn't the worst. I think Death just represents change.
That's... Okay, do you know what the Hanged Man represents?
No.
I have no idea. I mean, I only from Binding of Isaac that I actually get to see all the tarot cards, because if you had asked me beforehand which ones they were, I would just say there's only about 20 of them. And I don't know what they are. I mean, there's the Sun. Today I would know that there's the Sun, there's the Chariot, the Empress, the Hangman, Death, the Tower. What else? There's the World. And a few others. Have you ever gotten your fortune read, though? In any way?
No.
You don't believe in that shit, and I don't either.
It's not that I don't believe in it. I've never done it.
Yeah, not worth the $5.
I've never even had the opportunity to do it.
Also, here's another little mini game that we can play. The moment they get on stage. A water balloon toss. There he is. Get him. Yes. Headshot. Headshot, damn it. Do you enjoy throwing water balloons at people? I greatly enjoy throwing water balloons at people.
Yeah, like at a hot summer's day, sure.
Hit the witch. If she floats, she's a witch. Get her. She's gonna hex us up.
When you were in school, did you ever have like an entrepreneur fair sort of thing?
Like to raise money?
Not necessarily to raise money. It was more like at my school, in my junior high school. It was that the seniors, which would have been grade 9, we had this. It was to teach us about entrepreneurship, where everyone came up with an idea for a good or a service to sell, and then one day, on the day of the fair, we would all get into the gymnasium, and then we would offer that service for a cost. And then we would have to do up the amount of money that we spent to do the business, how much money we raised, and we have to calculate our profits, etc., etc. And we got to keep all the money that we made. Did you happen to do something like that?
If you're talking about like a bake sale or something, then yes. But an entrepreneur thing services and whatnot, no. Also, I'm terrible at hitting this lady.
Don't worry about it. I asked because this reminds me of that. My brother, he did the entrepreneur thing, and I did 2 years after him. And what he did, his idea was way more entertaining and creative than mine. He put himself in a garbage bag. He cut out the sides for his head and his arms. He wore a hockey mask, and he wore padding on his arms and legs.
Okay.
And he bought a shitload of eggs. And for the low cost of something like $2 or $3, you could chuck 3 to 4 eggs at him. And that was his service.
Did he get a lot of takers?
Oh, quite a bit.
That's pretty good, man. He kept all the money for himself, huh? Jeez.
Yep. Most people, including me, we just did food. And that turned out to be a terrible idea because the fair, at least in my case, was in the afternoon after lunch and no one was hungry.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Also, this dude sings. He's singing.
I don't hear it.
Sing it up, man. Do that. I imagine whoever recorded that voice must have been really enjoying it. So yeah, Harvest. I imagine your brother would feel quite at home at this place.
Probably not. He'd probably hate this.
Like this town? Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah.
So one last cool interesting thing about the Mallard Tomb is that there's this new room to access now. And basically, May is just like being creepy as fuck. Barging into this stranger's room or apartment or whatever, and commenting on everything about them. I mean, think about it. Imagine someone going into your house, not your family, someone a total stranger. You're not in the house, and they just kind of like pour over your stuff. And they leave without you knowing they're there.
Do they steal anything?
No. I mean, we don't... May's a criminal, but she's not... I guess,
No, you got it backwards. She's a delinquent, but she's not a criminal.
Yes. That's a good way to put it, I suppose. Unless she does crimes with Greg, in which case she's more of a delinquent than usual. But yeah, if they don't steal shit, I'd still be creeped out. I'm like, what the fuck? Who came in here? Why would they come in here?
I think I'd be more concerned with how they got past the locks on my doors.
I think that the lock was just unlocked, the door here anyway. If you lock up your room, if you lock up your house, then yeah, that's fair. It's like, yeah, they're not gonna get in. But if they got in anyway, they'd be like, what the? Why would you break in just to snoop over my shit? I'm not that interesting.
Yeah, I'm not that interesting. The most I have is my computer.
Now that would freak me out. If somebody hit in my May's being very American here though. See, in Canada that would never happen. They would never shoot you in the face. They'd probably throw something at you. Or scream and reach for their phone. But in America, you'd be shot in the face.
My brother lived in Oklahoma for a year and a half.
Yeah?
And he worked at Michelin.
Michelin, the company?
Yeah, the tire company. And one of his co-workers was talking to him about how many guns they own. And he was explaining that he has one gun for every room of his house. I think I told the story on this LP before.
I have not heard this one.
So the co-worker was saying that he has a gun for every room in his house, and the reason being, it was for protection. If a burglar ever came in, and he did not have the time to react and pull out one of his many, many, many guns.
That he has in his body, or on his body?
Well, he doesn't carry around a gun, or at least that's not part of the story.
I know, just saying reaching for the gun around him, and I'm like, and you mean in another room. But go on.
Yeah. His defense would be, he would comply with the thief, or the burglar, and he would do whatever the burglar told him, and he would be just the perfect little victim. And then after, let's say, 15, 20 minutes of this guy burglaring his house, he would he would ask the burglar if he could go get some of his medication from the bathroom. And he would assume that because he's been such a perfect little victim, the burglar would say, sure, you can do that. He would assume that he's just a harmless little old man. And then he would get up, he would go to the bathroom, and then he'd pull out his gun from like the toilet cistern or something, and then he would shoot the burglar in the face. That was the thinking behind having so many guns. And you could probably think of at least 3 different counter arguments to why something like that is so stupid. Like, for example, if the burglar, like first of all, you're putting a lot of faith in the goodness of a burglar, that he would let you get up and go to your medicine. Second, if the burglar has been going through your stuff for 15 minutes, they'd probably found all the guns.
Yeah, or they'd be like, hey, there's a gun here. Found it. There's another gun here. What the fuck? I might as well, you might as well make sure there's no more guns around the house.
And if you keep finding all these guns, you're not going to let your victim get up and go to another room where there might be more guns. I would assume anyway. I mean, of course, the burglar might also be that stupid.
I already found 3 guns. He's got no more, right?
Couldn't possibly have more.
Couldn't possibly have more. Oh, God. Those people who say, I want a gun is for protection, I'm gonna probably get some hate for this, but they're the stupidest people.
You say that, but you're a Canadian.
I'm not a Canadian yet. I'm a resident of Canada. I'm not a Canadian.
Jesus. Like, I'd heard the stories about being a permanent resident of Canada, or a Canadian citizen, taking years and years, but this is an awful long time.
But you think I'm trying to become a citizen?
Well, that's what I kind of assumed. Yeah, I mean, you've been living here for most of your life by this point.
But I'm a resident. I can't become a citizen, otherwise I lose my American or Brazilian citizenship. They don't allow you to have more than 2.
Oh, more than 2, okay.
Yeah, I still have my Brazilian citizenship and my American, so if I became a Canadian, they'd be like, well, choose one of these 2 to lose. And it's like, oh, I don't want to. But...
Okay, yeah, that threw me for a loop. I knew you could be more than 1.
But you figured I had just never become American or something?
Well, like I said, I didn't know you could not be more than 2.
Oh, well, now you know.
Now I know.
Well, that's not quite true. Some countries allow you to have, by right of heritage, a passport or a citizenship from that country that doesn't affect other countries diplomatically. But you have to have, like, the genealogy, genealogy? Is that the right word? The family history. So if my dad gets his Italian passport, me and my sister will be able to get our Italian passports. But he hasn't done it yet because it takes a long time and he doesn't feel like it. So we have to press for him because if he dies without him getting it, we'll never get it. We'll never be able to. So that's fun. Also, May got locked out.
Well, I mean, she's kind of been breaking and entering it. She hasn't been breaking, but she has been entering into this guy's abode for what looked like all year.
Just a few days, just going in, commenting on shit, saying, hey, I want to hide in here. Where does this person poo? Where do they pee? There's no bathroom in here. May's like, fuck it. Whatever. One last little addition for us. One last little bonus. We actually have 1 extra room in the church to visit. The library room. And that's so sad that when her mom says it doesn't get a lot of use these days. I mean, it's a library, for God's sake.
Do you think libraries are on the way out?
No. I don't think they are at all. I think libraries now are more than ever, I think, are on the way in.
I can't help but feel like they might be a little obsoleted by the internet.
No. Libraries offer the internet. And besides, the internet doesn't have everything.
That's very much not what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant, but I think that libraries still provide a service that the internet doesn't. It is not just the books. Let's take a nap. May gets to napping.
Sleeping on the couch is pretty fine.
With little sunlight, she's like a little dog, and there's a ghost in here. It's the grandfather. Hello, May's granddad.
May, watch out, you're about to get possessed.
A poltergeist is coming, May. But it's cool. He's just seeing his granddaughter sleep, joins her on the couch and just watches her.
I mean, that's pretty creepy too.
It's creepy, but it's like a little spirit saying, I'm watching over you. You know, it's a nice little touch.
Yeah, that's...
It's a good thing. Not all ghosts are bad. We'll save that for next time.